So let's get underway with the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Golden Trophy Senior Rotax Final. Here is your starting grid. On pole position, it will be the 374 from Belgium, Kai Rilletz. He'll be joined by the Pride of Scotland alongside on the front row, Lewis Gilbert in the 329, Jaden Teen and Ethan Jeff Hall on row 2. Thomas Strauver and Dion van Verven, row 3. Montego Masson and Kai Hunter, row 4, with Austin Lee and Mario Sidler completing the top 10. Jort van Wijk, Miska Kaskinen, Vic Stevens, Rashid Ghanem, Lawrence Herboz, Ilvari Turmiletto, Martin van Leeuwen, William Helgstrand, Leon Zelenko and Sverre Ubben round out the top 20. Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort, Mitch Haynert, Sam Bergstein, Bo Luet, Paul Christian Hamburg, Archie Buttle, Andrei Petrovic, Krik Knorren, George Kapantaris, Frederick Zevis Christensen, Ralph Winkel, Nicholas Ellis, who will start from the repair area ahead of Emily de Hoys, Zach Heslop, Tonis Johannes Domingas and Christoph Sala, who are the last drivers to make it through out of 61 down to 36. The formation lap now officially underway, and we up the time duration to 14 minutes plus an additional lap. So far this weekend, there's been one driver to beat, and that is the 17-year-old from Tremolo on pole position. But the sunshine bathing half the circuit, it could prove for an interesting mix of track conditions, depending on the evolution of the circuit as the race goes along its natural course. Drivers now start moving into formation as the red lights are ignited on the starting gantry for their final race of the weekend. Qualifying 6 heats, 2 superheats lead to this point. Out of the final corner, revs rise, noise increases, the lights are out straight away, and a good start by the inside row. As Kai Rilletz leads the field, we've got 3, 4 off, well, we've got 2 off. And one, is kicking up the dirt. That is the 385 of Miska Kaskinen. And he's done effectively the Karting Genk muddy joker lap. As Rilletz leads the way, Gilbert down to 4th as they come through turn 6. And head on to the Europalan 2, going pretty much line astern. One of which was, I think, Sam Bergstein, as Dion van Verven nearly got a fright from behind, coming out of the turn 7 chicane. But again, these drivers are really having to tread on eggshells. It's like skating on an ice rink with no traction. And a dry line is starting to slightly emerge. A couple of drivers going off, coming out of turn 9 and nearly using the runoff area. And around goes Leon Zelenko. Another one goes around. There's 2 other karts off, one of which is Sam Bergstein in the 319. I think I might have spotted possibly Christoph Sala also going off in the 381. Rilletz leads by half a second ahead of Thomas Strauver. Quite a few drivers. Well, Montego Masson did tumble. Miska Kaskinen got very, very dirty. I think they're going to have to wash off not just the chassis, but also the driver as well after that one. As there is the 395 of Kai Hunter. So like saying sorry about that to Lewis Gilbert. Thomas Strauver under braking, back end stepping out to the right-hand side into the braking zone for turn 7 at the chicane. So at the moment, with clear air in front of him, Kai Rilletz will try and control the pace. Sometimes in this kind of situation, with the sun beating down on most of the circuit, dry line starting to evolve. You've got to use a little bit of common sense, a little bit of savoir-faire to get yourself around this circuit with no incidents, no mistakes, because that can cost you the opportunity of going for the win. 2.5 minutes down, 11.5 to go. Gillets leads by 6/10, or just over 6/10, ahead of Thomas Strauver. Kai Hunter ahead of Lewis Gilbert in the battle for P3. Fifth is Ethan Jeff Hall. There's Dion van Verven running on the Sodi Kart 377 entry. He's ahead of Austin Lee by about 1.1 seconds. Vic Stevens, Lawrence Herboz and Denmark's William Helgstrand complete the top 10. Emerson McAndrew Uren shouting out, "Come on, Kai Hunter." Of course, another one of the drivers that run as part of Dan Holland Racing. But again, the front two have scarpered away into the distance. Between first to third, that's Kai Gillets and Kai Hunter. 1.6 seconds after 2 laps. We're on the verge of completing lap 3. Dion van Verven goes very, very deep into turn 12 to really hook up the traction on the back axle of that Sodi Kart chassis, and closes in on Ethan Jeff Hall down the start-finish straight once again, and looks for the move up the inside as Jeff Hall runs a little bit deep. And Van Verven now up to 5th position. 4 minutes down, 10 to go. And Gillets is just calmly going along with the business at hand. Strauver is trying to keep pace with him as we've got another kart off. Oh dear, another one taking the dirty joker lap off of turn 2. Not too sure who that was. I'll try and see if I can pick out the karts in a minute, probably through the live timing. So Rillet's leading quite comfortably, being able to manage that gap as we've got just under 9.5 minutes still to go. Hunter and Gilbert still squabbling over the final step on the rostrum for 3rd place. Andrei Petrovic now rounds out the top 15 as Rillet starts lap 5. Strauven, Hunter, Gilbert, Van Verven, Jeff Hall, Austin Lee, Vic Stevens, Ivari Tui Mileto and Lawrence Herboz round out the top 10. Jaden Teen, Jort van Wijk, William Helgstrand, Svedit Urban and now Rashid Ghanem from the UAE makes it up to 15th. As a couple of drivers dropping down. Oh, Archie Buttle and Andrei Petrovic. Not been a good race for those two either. 34th and 35th now respectively. And Mitch Haynert showing at the back end of the field. Started 22nd despite the drama in the superheat. Tom Arnold, you're asking a very, very good question. I wonder how long the D5s will last when they dry up. Well, considering the rain has been torrential in the lunch break, Tom, I would hazard a guess that with the amount of water on the circuit, there are drivers in wetsuits. So the W5s, I would imagine, may be the tyre of choice. When they're lapping at 1:12s, we are way off of the cut-off point or the crossover point for the D5s. We're talking probably the best part of about, I would say, 16 seconds. And now Gilbert through into 3rd. Hunter went wide into turn 3 to try and get the cut back. And Dion van Verven is right with them and looks up the inside. That's going to be 4th for the 377, but Hunter puts the pedal to the metal to try and counteract it, but no go, I'm afraid, there for the 395. And he gets sandwiched between Van Verven and Jeff Hall. Jeff Hall manages to get his way through past Hunter. That's now 5th. So again, it is just about treading on eggshells. Blue flags being waved, no surprise to Mitch Haynett in the 363 because the race leaders are closing in. Battle still waging on. Kai Hunter now drops behind Austin Lee. That's down to 7th for the 395, this year's British and B&L Senior Road Tax Champion. Also some other battles happening. Rashid Ghanem versus Sverre Ubben into turns 1 and 2. And again, there are just battles up and down the order. Mario Sedel now goes up past Bolowet into the top 20. Leon Zelenko and Christoph Sala now recovering to 23rd and 24th. Mitch Haynett is keeping well out of the way and pulls off to the right-hand side of the Europlan in the 363. What a shame for the TB Kart Netherlands driver. Has done an absolutely brilliant job. But there is a kart stricken off of turn 6, heading on the infield, and the driver walking away from the kart. So someone has had a drama. We'll find out very, very shortly who that is, because from my vantage point here in the commentary position, I cannot make out the number. Rillertz leads after 7 laps. He's led from lights out so far and has a second advantage over Thomas Strauver. And Mitch Haynett, I think, might have decided to call it quits. As that is, oh no, that is Ivari Toimileto from Finland, who is out after turn 5 on the circuit. And the driver is now in the safety of Marshall post 3. There's Austin Lee making his way through turn number 6. As Dion van Verven gunning for 3rd place. He's got Lewis Gilbert in front of him. And everyone using the curb on the inside approach into turn number 8. And I've just spotted Mitch Haynett has pulled the TB kart number 363 into the pits. And that is his weekend at an abrupt end. A real shame for Mitch Haynett. Showed great prowess in the heats yesterday. Had dramas of a technical nature on the right rear going into the superheat this afternoon, earlier on this afternoon. Gilbert takes it tight to the apex through turn 12. So we are down to 34 runners and riders, the last of which is the 361 of Serbia's Andrej Petrovic. Jaden Teen rounds out the top 10 as the battle for 3rd has hit fever pitch. As Lewis Gilbert goes up the inside of the 377 of Dion van Verven, Ethan Jeff Hall very much in the mix. Austin Lee, who it's 3 wide coming out of turn 6. Gilbert to the outside, Van Verven in the middle. Ethan Jeff Hall to the inside. Van Verven makes it through for P3 on the run down to turn number 7. A 4-kart scramble over what is the final step of the podium here in the Golden Trophy Senior Road Tax Final. And Rillertz and Strauver are 5 seconds up the road. The gap between Rillertz and Strauver on the previous lap was just under 6/10. But with 3 minutes still to go, Van Verven starting to pull away from the 3 behind. Gilbert goes into battle with Ethan Jeff Hall and Austin Lee. Austin Lee sends it up the inside on Gilbert as Ethan Jeff Hall does the same, but that is to no avail because Dion van Verven had the presence of mind and the traction to boot to floor it and go straight past Ethan Jeff Hall. And again, Ethan Jeff Hall up the inside of Van Verven coming out of turn 6. Gilbert adjusting the radiator flap on the right-hand side of his kart as he closes in on Austin Lee. Again, they're 4 in a line coming through the turn 7 chicane. And this is going to get a bit too close for comfort as I saw Lewis Gilbert up the inside of Austin Lee and he's got through. Van Verven, between a rock and a hard place, he's having to defend against everybody that's behind him, which now is going to include Kai Hunter. Vic Stevens not too far off of this battle. Neither is Lawrence Herbose. I would imagine probably in the next minute or so, we could see Jaden Teen join the fray. Under 2 minutes remain. The leaders now on to lap number 11. 6.5 tenths separating Kai Rilets, the current race leader, who's looking for the ultimate clean sweep this weekend. Thomas Strauver is the fastest driver out there, a 1 minute 11.525, as Ethan Jeff Hall stays ahead of Lewis Gilbert, who is still in 5th at the minute. But keep your eyes on Kai Hunter in 7th. He's right on the rear bumper of Austin Lee for 6th place as they come out of the turn 6 hairpin onto the Europolon again. Once more, the traction that Sodi Carter's got is rather impressive out of turn 6, but Ethan Jeff Hall able to mitigate that through braking into turn 7. So with coming up to a minute to go on the timer plus an additional lap, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen and who's going to take the final step of the rostrum. But the two up front, Rilets, Strauver. It's two Belgians leading the way on home soil as we head on to the penultimate lap of the Senior Rotax final. Van Verven holding on by a finger thread for 3rd place. Ethan Jeff Hall is going to be closest to him as the leaders make their way through out of turn number 4. That gap was 6 tenths. It's now been halved. Strauver senses the opportunity is going to come to him, but he's got to go for it. And also Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort has pulled it into the pits, and unfortunately the 393 from the United Kingdom is out of the race. We're down to what will be 33 finishers. Timer now strikes 0. Out of turn 9 for the penultimate time on lap 12 out of 13. Rilets keeps an eye over his right-hand shoulder to see where Strauven is through turn 10. Now out of the left-hander at turn 11. They hurtle their way through into turn 12. One more lap remains. And Strauven's going to get the slipstream on this final tour of this 1.36 kilometre circuit. And he looks for the move up the inside of Kai Rilets, who is looking all over his left and right shoulders and saw Strauven was there. And it was very, very close indeed. Strauven's trying to go around the outside as Rilets keeps on the racing line. It's come down to this. We have got probably the best part of about 800 metres of this circuit left to go, and Rilets knows that he's not going to have it easy. Strauver goes for it towards the outside of turn 7 on the final lap of the race, and Rilets keeps the defensive line. Turn 9, now negotiated by our two race leaders, Kai Rilets and Thomas Strauver. Rilets frantically looking over his left shoulder as they go through turn 10 for the final time. One more corner remains. Rilets takes a quick glance over the right-hand shoulder through turn 12, but out of the final turn, he's done the clean sweep. Rilets is your Golden Trophy Senior Rotax champion in 2023. 3 heat wins, super heat win, and now Golden Trophy champion. Rilets does it again. Brilliant stuff, and celebrates with some drifting. A great weekend for the young man, the 17-year-old from Tremelo in Belgium. Multi-time European junior champion, BNL champion, and he's done something special here on home soil. He becomes the 2023 Golden Trophy Senior Rotax champion. But Thomas Strauver gave him something to think about on that final lap. Strauver takes second, Belgian 1-2 on home soil. Ethan Jeff Hall takes third ahead of Dion Van Verven. Lewis Gilbert rounds out the top 5 ahead of Austin Lee, Kai Hunter, Vic Stevens, Lawrence Herboz and Jaden Teen, who rounds out the top 10. Jort van Wijk, Sverre Ubben, Martin van Leeuwen, Rashid Ghanem and William Helgstrand round out the top 15, followed by Mario Sidler, Zach Heslop, Emily de Hoys, Boluet, Frederick Zebis Christensen, Leon Zelenko, Montego Masson, George Cafantares, Christoph Sala, Miska Kaskinen, despite doing the dirty Joker lap run through turn 2, managed to round out the top 25 ahead of Paul Christian Hamburg, Nicholas Ellis, Ralph Winkel, Tonis Johannes Dominguez, Krit Knorren, Sam Bergstein, and Archie Buttle being the last of the 32 drivers that made it through round all 13 laps. Andrei Petrovic a lap down, Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort retiring on lap 10, Ivadi Tuimuleto on lap 6, and lap 5 we lost Mitch Haynert, but Kai Rilletz is your 2023 Golden Trophy Senior Rotax Champion.